speech, and I'll call upon Hannah Brown to please open the case for the opposition.
So thank you all for coming and listening to all of our responses to Has Feminism Lost Its Way? My response is no. And here's why. Feminism defined is social, political and economic equality for genders. It seeks to challenge and better our society as it is today and for the future. If you have not read the short novella We Should All Be Feminists by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, I would strongly recommend it to anyone. Chimamanda ends her novel by saying that feminism is accepting that there is a problem with gender and that we ought to sort it. And all of us, regardless of our gender, must do better. Leading on from this, it is important to use the word intersectional beside feminism. Intersectional means that all of us, regardless of class, race, sexual orientation, disability, religion and gender, come together and strive for equality. We intersect as we come from each of our different experiences and strive to understand one another and to seek better. In this feminism, I call for unity. I do not look at all of you today and see an audience who are incapable of seeking this. I see a number of intelligent people with the ability and power to change and better our society. I simply think as a society, we have lost our way, not feminism. To find our way again, we need this feminism of intersectionality. We need an awareness and a respect for others. This isn't policing, nor is it taking away a person's freedom of speech. I'm not saying to you, you can't say offensive things, but I am asking you to question why you would want to say these offensive things in the first place. I feel that Chimamanda really hit the nail on the head when she defined feminism as a movement which seeks to resolve the issue of gender. I identify as a white, straight Scottish woman, Scottish, not English, and I support all the other amazing people around me who may not identify under the same categories, or don't even want to categorise themselves to begin with. My experience and identity shouldn't be forced upon others and set up as the ultimate archetype of womanhood, okay? Everyone's experience and identity should be appreciated and respected. To say that you're an egalitarian and not a feminist is to say that you are not an egalitarian at all. By choosing to say you're not feminist, you're choosing to deny that for centuries women have been oppressed by the patriarchy we lived and still live under. To this day, across the world, women face reproductive mutilation and aren't given the same opportunities as a man is. By saying this, I really want you to understand here that I'm not denying that men have a hard time too. In fact, my statement should lead you to believe that this system of oppression, this patriarchy that we enforce upon men too, needs to stop. We need to stop looking at our men and emasculating them for being too womanly in the passions they want to pursue. Nor does it seek to exclude transgender people, but instead ensure everyone is accounted for. Our current society is affecting us all, not just a woman born with a female reproductive system, and feminism deals with this gender issue. But first, I want to relate to you a personal example of this gender problem. Recently, I gave a speech at my Burns Night formal in college. I wrote a poem which had a jest at typical Durham boys. As in Burns' tradition, a person of each sex is meant to address the opposite sex in a tongue-in-cheek sort of fashion. An incredibly binary tradition, I know. Okay, so part of it read, adorned in chinos and a signet ring. I didn't even know that was a thing. To be so proud of family heritage as you stroll arrogantly across Elvet Bridge. In this, I hope to come across as cheeky, but respectful, as I ended my poem toasting, so let's raise our glasses, oh lassies please, for a laddie that sees equality is enough to put us all at ease. Now, when I did this, I felt proud to have gone up, because it was the first time I gave a speech addressing a large crowd at university. And I managed to feel composed and confident and really at one with myself as I spoke. I loved doing it and I felt empowered. People were listening to me. Yet a few days after, I read an article about the night. I read what was said about all the other male speakers who performed that night. All the comments were positive. Oh, did I mention all the speakers were male apart from me? And all comments were positive and captured the idea of them being strong speakers. Words like precision, captured, executing were used for the guys. The descriptions made me excited to see what this expressive columnist had to say about me. However, I wasn't depicted as strong. Instead, I came across as insane. The first phrase that the columnist used to describe my speech and my actions was that I was gesticulating wildly. After Googling the verb to gesticulate, I laughed at the absurdity of the word and applauded the columnist for his expressive handling of the English language. I actually really liked the idea of me being a wild gesticulator. Yet something didn't sit right. Why was I the wild, uncontrollable one out of the speakers? One of the other speakers was wildly stabbing a haggis. Yet he seemed to have more control than I did, according to the article. Now, I don't blame the columnist for his words, and I respect him for writing such an expressive piece. Yet I do see this language towards women as a problem. Do not depict me as a feminist who can't take a joke. But when womankind have been labelled for centuries now as mad if they are to speak up and be strong in the same way a man is, then can you not see that a lot of us are tired? Can you not see that perhaps it isn't funny when the same depiction of the crazy woman was used in ancient Greece as a means for silencing and oppressing her? Hysteria, coming from the Greek word hystera, meaning womb, was an inherently female quality. Feminism fights gender issues like this. It is the same issue which affects not only women, but everyone else. As soon as you deal and overcome the issues which feminists fight for, i.e. these gender issues, you overcome the issues men and anyone else who does not identify so rigidly face. Patriarchy is not a myth. It is a system of oppression all of us here have felt the burden of. This need that a man has to be on top for a society to function is ludicrous and makes no sense in our world as it is today. This idea did make sense 1,000 years ago, when our world revolved around physical strength as the main power source, as men were hunters and providers, okay? But we're no longer cavemen. And power and ability now rely on intellect in our modern world, as those in power are heads of industry. There is no need to bring a person's biological makeup into the question. Yet we still do. I remember going out for dates in school with boys when I was 14 and thinking it was awful if a boy didn't pay for me. It meant that he wasn't attracted to me. Awful. Yet, why was I made to think this way? Why did I link their gender with money? We need to ensure that we are no longer raising our children to take financial independency away from women and to put economic pressure on men. And to have this rigidity of a man and a woman's role when there are so many variations of what a person can identify as. We are conditioning future generations to think of higher roles as a man's place, and they are growing out of the playground and into the world of business and power. For example, in recent news, just yesterday, PR agency Impulsa Comunicación told Carla Fergada in her rejection letter for the account executive role that she applied for that they needed a man who could handle the pace of working with big companies. We must unlearn this kind of thinking in order to progress and better ourselves. And feminism is the movement which addresses this gender issue. We need to teach our children that feminism isn't a scary word. And at the Freshers' Society Fair, a number of people flocked by our stall many eager and ready to join, the majority of this being mainly female, and others who, as soon as they saw the word feminism at their stall, the majority of which being male, bolted. Feminism to them may as well have been written in blood, with one of their relatives' heads stuck in a pipe beside it. The feminist movement itself works in the same way as the waves of the sea flow. We have a duty to our society to progress. I never understood why people are so anti-feminist and view it as outdated. It is in continual progression. There is a reason for feminist waves, i.e. first, second and third waves. I appreciate that these waves really improved equal representation for gender, i.e. the right to vote and more representation in the workplace, but there still is work to be done. The use of the word wave is significant. Each feminist wave moves into another. Feminism is a sea of progression, and we are the navigators. It is our duty to be the ones who are the guiding force. One of my favourite novels, The Great Gatsby, ends, I believe, in a rather hopeless way. It claims that despite trying to strive for a better world where we push ourselves to our limits, we will forever be the boats borne ceaselessly back into the past. But I don't think we will be. We mustn't be born ceaselessly back into the past. As I get it. There's a lot to say. Yeah. As tempting and as comfortable as it may seem, to me, feminism is representative of hope. So let us run faster, reach our arms out further, till one fine day we reach the goal feminism strives for. Feminism hasn't lost anything, but as time goes on, it sheds the prejudices of the past and reveals a shinier and better future for all of us, regardless of our gender. Feminism, political, social, and economical gender equality. I hope you all don't think we've lost the hope in achieving this.